let me ask you about your time at Villa Park.
Whew.
So Maccabi Tel Aviv fans were banned from coming to the game. It was a Europa League game. And the West Midland police had said it was because of their fears that they were a violent group of hooligans, and they would reference the Amsterdam scenario, although what's now been exposed is, although this was clear from the video footage before, they were attacked in Amsterdam. It didn't help that they were also singing sort of anti-Arab football chants, the Israeli fans, but it is the case that you can see this, they were horribly attacked by local, not Palestinians, but pro-Palestinians.
Mm-hmm.
And this was, I would say, a very shameful chapter in modern British history. But you went against orders in disguise as an Aston Villa fan, and you went to the game.
First of all, I actually do like Aston Villa, so that's not nonsense.
Who's your favorite Aston Villa fan?
I know I'm not a football fan in general, but I'll tell you why I like Aston Villa. I like them because the team's response to this whole saga, I think, was commendable. The fact that they were against the ban, and also beyond that, the fact that even while I was there, like, the fans were very supportive, they were very gracious, and they were very much against how the entire sport had been politicized simply because an Israeli team was playing against them. And that's not obvious. That's not a given in football. And so I really do appreciate both what the club did at the higher levels and even the fans. So I am a fan. But obviously, I also support Maccabi Tel Aviv. I did go to the game as an Aston Villa fan. And interestingly enough, I had a shirt on that said Zionist on it. Nothing to do with football. It's me and another friend who is a British Jew. We went together, and that's like a thing that she's advocating on a campus here. So we both wore these shirts. I actually had a sweater on the whole game, but we took a picture at the game at halftime. And after that, the security of the stadium came to us and pulled us out of our seats and interrogated us about this, alongside about 30 police. Not sure why that was necessary for two young girls, but okay.
30 police surrounded you.
Yeah, in the hallway. They pulled us out of the seats, and in the hallway there, dozens of police and
what were they
security.
asking you?
Well, who had the Israeli club football shirt? And we're like, what? What are you talking about?
So do you think someone else in the ground...
They told us.
Told
Someone tried to report us and say that we were Maccabi fans and that we weren't allowed to be there. Now, that's true. That would make sense maybe if we were causing trouble or we were cheering for Maccabi or any of those things. None of them were true. And ultimately they did let us back in the game once they realized. But the entire experience was very discriminatory and completely unfair. I mean, I go to a lot of football games, and I've never seen something like that happen. The only time someone gets pulled out of their seat in those kinds of scenarios is if they're acting out, which certainly didn't happen, not with us. We were, and in fact, when the security came to pull us out, the other Aston Villa fans were like, what are you doing? Like, they're cheering for Aston Villa. Why are you giving them a hard time? They defended us to the security, and the security were like, well, we had a report, and so we have to investigate it. Really?
So you had a good experience with the Villa fans. Did you see any of the protests outside the ground?
Oh, yeah. And the fact that these protests were allowed to be carried out is ridiculous in the first place. Hundreds of people with Palestinian flags and also flags of the Islamic Republic of Iran being waved there. I mean, you would think that Palestine was playing a match. These are not fans of Aston Villa. They're not fans of football at all. They just came there because they don't like that there are Israelis that came to play football, which is crazy because sports is something where you should play with people who are different than you, that you would disagree with. That's one of the beauties of sport and also music. So I am completely against this. I don't think the protest should have been allowed in the first place. It was also dangerous, I believe. A lot of these protests have involved violence against different people. And the fact that they banned Maccabi fans doesn't mean that there wouldn't be violence. And if you look at who was arrested, it wasn't Maccabi fans. And also what we saw in Birmingham was a lot of blatantly anti-Semitic signs
Like what?
being hung all around the city, especially outside the stadium. There was one that said, if you see a Zionist, call the anti-terror hotline. Another one said the Maccabi players are genocidal baby killers, and we don't want them in our city. They had a lot of different signs like this that were plastered all over the public signs in the city. I took a picture with the "If you see a Zionist" sign. I had to. I couldn't resist. But it's very disturbing. It's very disturbing that the police allowed it to get to that level in the first place, despite the fact that there were allegedly no Maccabi fans there in the first place. And it's not something that we should ever see at a sporting event.
Yeah, it's certainly curious that if the Maccabi fans are not allowed, why were those pro-Pali, pro-Iranian regime, and I would say pro-Hamas protesters allowed?
Yep.
I guess it's curious, isn't it, the way the term Zionist is being used now as a pejorative, because all it means is to believe in the sort of Jewish sovereignty. And
well, not only that, it's not mutually exclusive. Like, Zionism is not a statement that negates Palestinians' rights. They have a right to self-determination as well, I believe. And I'm a diehard Zionist.
Yeah.
So the misuse of this is very problematic, because people think that it means something about Israeli policy. I personally do not support the Israeli government right now. I don't agree with this government. But does that make me anti-Zionist? Certainly not. The opposite. I'm very Zionist. And so for people to use that as a term when they disagree with the policy, it actually means that to be anti-Zionist is to be against Jewish sovereignty and only Jewish sovereignty.
Yeah.
And that is inherently anti-Semitic. That's the problem. I would say the only exception I've ever heard is that if you are a true anarchist and you don't believe that anyone has a right to self-determination,
yes,
then you could be anti-Zionist. I accept you could be anti-Zionist, and it's not rooted in some kind of anti-Jewish bigotry. But short of that,
yes, quite. If you don't believe in any borders, then it's okay to be anti-Zionist.
Yeah.
But if you do believe that some groups are allowed determination and others not, that is anti-Semitic. It's so horrible to see, and we even hear it in British Parliament now with the likes of the far left or the extreme left, like Zara Sultana, is openly saying that she's using the word Zionist as a pejorative like that. It's very shocking to see the turn of this word. And we see it on the right as well now, being used not just in America. I'm seeing it starting to happen in Britain.
Yeah.
It's very ugly to me. Thanks for watching this clip from the Winston Marshall Show. You can click here to watch the full episode. And for more clips like this one, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, be well.